Welcome back to another one, you guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Nissan in Frederick, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. Today we are in the brand new 2022 Nissan Rogue Sport because this is an SUV that starts at under $25,000, which is a heck of a deal today considering inflation and all that fun stuff. But ultimately, in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing it. So there will be a few different trim levels available for the 2022 Rogue Sport. First one being the S, starting at $24,460, SV for $26,030, and lastly the SL, being the one we have today, starting at $29,090. By the way, that was all pricing for the front wheel drive configuration. If you wanted to add all-wheel drive, you can do that, but simply add $1,500 then to any of those prices. So then regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant on the Rogue Sport is going to be the same. Powering the little beast is a 2-liter direct injected inline 4-cylinder, putting out 141 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 147 pound-feet of torque coming in at 4,400 RPM. Power sent to front wheels or all wheels through a CVT. 0 to 60 time is going to come in at approximately 10 seconds, and we will be testing that out here in a little bit. MPG numbers coming in at 25 in the city, 32 highway for the front wheel drive, 24 in the city, 30 then on the highway for the all-wheel drive, but taking regular unleaded fuel. So before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in our Rogue Sport, I want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There are 2 of them. Those drive modes are located just by the driver's left knee. They will include Eco and Sport. They will adjust things like the throttle response, the shift points, and actually the steering sensitivity as well. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find it straight away. Let's put that acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2023 Rogue Sport here up to speed. All right, in 3, 2, 1, rolling start, but here we go. All right, in sport mode, you shouldn't have any issues with getting onto the highway, I'll say that. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 11.7-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 11.5-inch solid rear discs. As far as that braking feel goes, it's actually wonderful. I really don't mind the braking feel on the Rogue Sport. It has a nice feel to it. There's certainly no dead spots. It instantly brings you to a stop. It's not a soft braking feel, which sometimes you find in SUVs, which I don't like. So this one is definitely plenty fine as far as the braking feel goes. Touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get an independent strut type front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars. As far as ride quality goes, it's been 100% perfectly fine in my short test drive here in Frederick, so definitely soaking up the road imperfections quite nicely. So I've personally had absolutely no issues there. As far as steering feel goes, again, it does adjust depending upon the drive mode that you put it in. As far as cabin noise goes, really all I can complain about, and it's not really even a complaint because I don't mind it, is the engine noise when you really get on it. But other than that, there's definitely not a whole lot of wind noise or road noise for that matter coming into the cabin. So Nissan did a quite brilliant job as far as isolating this thing. It's kind of a serene cabin for it not being a luxury vehicle. So well done, Nissan there. And then touching on visibility, again, with smaller SUVs, you're not going to have any issues there. So I can actually see perfectly fine out the back. So not going to have any issues, like I said. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2022 Nissan Rogue Sport. All right, you guys, here she is, the new 2022 Nissan Rogue Sport. Actually a decent looking SUV here. Let's go ahead and start up front as always. Chrome V-Motion front grille will come standard across the board, of course. To the sides, halogen headlights actually do come standard. They come with LED daytime running lights and also the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark out at night, those headlights are going to turn on automatically for you there. Fog lights are going to be coming standard on the SV and optional on the SL. We actually do have that option, so they look pretty darn good down at the very bottom portion of that front bumper there. And then LED headlights are going to be optional on the SL as a package option. We do have that option, so we do have those LED headlights up front, so that of course is going to add a ton more added illumination at night. So definitely a fan of those, but overall very good looking front end. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side of the Rogue Sport. All right, you guys, so now since we are around to the side, aluminum roof rails do come standard. Chrome window surrounds also coming standard. I think you guys can see that. And I know what it may look like rear privacy glass, but these windows are actually simply tinted by the dealer, but rear privacy glass does not come standard on the Rogue Sport. But If you wanted it, you of course can just simply tint the windows yourself, or you can buy this one. That of course is an option as well. But then take a look at the side mirrors. They are body colored, power adjustable side mirrors. You will get integrated turn signals for the SV and SL, and then those side mirrors will be heated for those 2 trim levels then as well. You will find matte black side skirts, which actually don't look all that bad with this black exterior that we have here today. Approach lighting is actually going to come standard on all trims. So that's going to illuminate the ground a little bit at night so you don't step in any puddles, of course. Then take a look down at the wheel setup. 17-inch aluminum alloys for the S and SV trim levels. Then the SL is going to bump that up to 18-inch aluminum alloys like you guys are currently looking at right now. But pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, you guys can see there is an antenna all the way to the top there. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Just below that, rear window wiper. You'll find some trim level badging found on the right side of that rear lift gate there. So if you wander onto a lot, maybe on a Sunday, you're curious what trim level you're looking at, that is simply where you're going to go ahead and find that. And tucked below, there actually is a single exhaust outlet to the driver's side there. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. So but now since we are around to the back of the Rogue Sport, when it comes to opening that rear liftgate, it is a manual liftgate for all trim levels across the board. So simply just press the button and then lift up and it will open up for you. Once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at an even 20 cubic feet for the SV and SL trims, and then it's going to be bumped up slightly to 22.9 cubic feet then for the S trim level. Then with those rear seats down, because of course they do fold down, 53.3 cubic feet for the SV and SL, and then 61.1 cubic feet for the S. So kind of substantially more for the S trim level in case you were interested. But cargo lighting will come standard back there. There are 6 cargo tie-down anchors. There are some grocery bag hooks as well, also coming standard. Cargo cover is going to come with the SV and SL, and you're actually going to get in-floor storage, and that's where the cargo capacity number differs because of that. In-floor storage coming with the SV and SL, and there's going to be 2 sections, one in the front kind of and one in the back for that in-floor storage. So that was kind of cool. But so then making our way to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 33.4 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. There is a rear center armrest with cup holders that does come standard. Also rear ventilation does come standard back there then as well. Then make our way to the front seats. Manually adjustable cloth seating coming with the S trim level. 8-way power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar for the SV and SL. Premium cloth seating for the SV, leather seating then for the SL, that's what you guys are currently looking at, and then heated front seats are going to come with the SV and SL. And overall, with that 8-way power driver's seat with the 2-way power lumbar, the leather seating, it was plenty comfortable, so certainly not going to have any issues taking this thing on a long road trip. Then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is actually leather wrapped for the SV and SL trim levels, heated actually also for the SV and SL, which is kind of surprising because that's a very high-end luxury feature. So I was a big fan to find that. And that button, by the way, is located around where the drive mode buttons are located, so that's where you're going to find that. But also, of course, you get the flat bottom steering wheel coming standard for all the trim levels as well, which is pretty cool. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. And so essentially all of your buttons are located on one side of the key, Nissan logo all the way to the top, lock, unlock, and then that circular button, that's going to be a remote start. That comes standard on the SV and SL, so you're not going to get it on the S trim level, but it is essentially all keyless entry with a push button start for those 2 trim levels as well, SV and SL. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just to the right of the gauges there. And so once started up, tachometer is all the way to your left, speedometer on your right. There is a decent sized digital display front and center to control what is on that digital display. There are steering wheel mounted controls found on the left side of the steering wheel there, giving you things like a compass, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, speed limit recognition, outside temperature, basically everything you could possibly want on a digital portion of the gauges. So that was definitely pretty cool to see as well. Then make our way to overall interior quality. There is a power moonroof that is optional For the SL, we do have that option, so I was a big fan of that. Overhead sunglass holder is also going to come standard across the board for all trim levels. That's pretty cool. Auto dimming rear view mirror with HomeLink controls for the SL trim level only, and that's for up to 3 different garage doors, so I like that. Piano black accents are going to come standard, and they can be found on the doors as well as just above the passenger side glove box and actually around the shifter as well, so they definitely look pretty good. Dual zone climate control coming with the SL trim level only, so both driver and passenger can set their own temperatures. Just in front of the shifter, you have a 12-volt power outlet, aux port, and a USB charging port then as well. There's an electromechanical parking brake and a little bit of storage in front of the shifter as well. Just behind the shifter, you have your dual cup holders, a little bit of storage, and then your heated seat buttons. And then within the center armrest, there is a decent amount of storage. Not only that though, you get a 12-volt power outlet in there and a USB charging port yet again. So overall, it's actually not that bad. I didn't mind the interior quality. It'll definitely get the job done. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen. It is a 7-inch color touchscreen display coming standard. Bluetooth and audio streaming, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, factory navigation system coming with the SL trim level. And of course, you can check out your radio information up on that screen. So when it comes to the sound systems, you will get 4 speakers for the S and then 6 speakers for the SV and SL. That comes standard, but there is an optional Bose sound system, and yet again, we have that option. This is like a fully loaded Rogue Sport here, so let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got planned today, and let's test out this Bose sound system that we have with us here today. I'm just being silly, you guys, but honestly, that was a really good sound system. Ton of bass, and Nissan always does very good with the Bose sound systems. I had them in my Infiniti G35 coupe back in the day. It never failed me, it never broke. It was an amazing sound system. Again, with this one, you got a ton of bass, perfect clarity. That was an amazing sound system for the Rogue Sport, quite honestly. But anyways, the last thing I want to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen at least is when you do put this thing in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard for all trim levels, but the SL that we have today is going to also give you that bird's eye view located on the right there, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so front side curtain airbags do come standard, driver and passenger knee airbags up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard for all trim levels across the board will be automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane departure warning, intelligent lane intervention, blind spot warning with rear cross traffic alert, high beam assist, reverse automatic braking, and then lane keep assist as well. It's a good bit. But then the SL trim level that we have today is going to add, in addition to that, driver attention monitoring system and then adaptive cruise control as well. So ultimately, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Rogue Sport, it has a lot of standard safety, as I just mentioned, which is definitely a good thing. I like the braking feel on this as well. Bites on the firmer side of things, which I personally appreciate. That is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media. If you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know. I will see you guys all in the next video.